Habari. My name is Mʉmbi Kaigwa and I'm from Kenya and I live in Nairobi, the capital. The reason why I'm writing this play is because I find social issues extremely interesting and important and underreported. And I also find that the use of theatre is very powerful to bring these issues to light. I also work very often in documentary theatre. I think there are far too many stories that need telling, and they're much stranger and much more interesting than fiction, or any fiction that I could write. The main issue in Kenya's maternal health care, I Googled because I'm not a doctor, and I found an article by the Huffington Post, and I put down some things. I'm going to read them. Kenya has a very enlightened approach to many developmental issues, but on maternal health, it's lagging behind. Poverty is an overwhelming issue, especially in the rural areas, which makes it challenging to access adequate health care. There's also the interplay of social, cultural, economic, and logistical barriers, coupled with a high fertility rate, 3.76 children born per woman, according to the World Bank. There's inadequate and underfunded health services, inadequate water supply, sanitation, hygiene. A disproportionate number of women are HIV positive compared to men, and that also contributes to negative health outcomes. Add to this that just over 50% of Kenyan women deliver their babies in hospital or just over 50% of women deliver their babies at home, and only 44% of births in 2014, as reported, were assisted by a healthcare professional. This leads to tens of thousands of women suffering from obstetric fistula, a childbirth injury that causes leakage of urine and feces, and which is a direct result of inadequate health services. The good news is that recently, in the last maybe 4 or 5 years, the government, through the Ministry of Health, has introduced free maternity care for anybody using a public health facility. And so women who had to have their babies at home because they couldn't afford to go to hospital can now go to hospital, and if they need to have a cesarean because they're having a prolonged and protracted natural birth, then they can have a cesarean. This is one of the reasons why women have been having fistula, is because they weren't near a medical practitioner when things went wrong or when things took long. The surprising thing or interesting thing that I've discovered is that of the 2 or 3 women who I interviewed who had fistula, who were not from the rural areas, their fistula was caused by their doctor. And I also discovered that not all doctors and not all obstetricians have the training to repair a fistula, and that we need a lot more doctors with this kind of training, because there are far too many women who are wandering around for 5, 10, 20, in one case 70 years with fistula. Thank you.